If you believe that, then you'll hate them. Of course, you'll want to call them fascists and racists and Nazis and all those things. But that's maniacal. And by the way, as Kyle pointed at me and said, yes or no, is MAGA fascist? Well, what an asinine question. What do you mean by MAGA? What do you mean? And do you mean Trump voters? Look, it's not about Kyle and Krystal at all. I mean, oftentimes, I think, sometimes these days, it used to be oftentimes, they're usually among the more reasonable. But these days, like if you're on the left and you're watching any of the other shows, you're not getting accurate information at all. They're telling you that the actual Trump voters are liars and they love war.
They do love war. I mean, dude, they do love war. There's a data set for that, guys. Okay? What's happening right now in our streets with ICE? Look at this. Tell me this is not war, guys. This is war. They voted for this shit. They love war, guys. Look at that.
Just doing my job. Sorry, guys.
We got more. Look at that shit, bro. Dude, that's fucking war, bro. Okay? That is war. The only reason it's not an outright war is because the person he's grabbing isn't fighting back. If that person pulled out a gun and said, "Get the fuck out of my car wash," it would be outright war. When you see a line of citizens chasing these guys out of their neighborhoods while tear gas canisters are going, that shit is war. They love war. They want ICE to fucking put guns to people's heads. And if they resist, they want them to shoot them. They want to be able to drive their cars through protests and kill anybody who gets in their way. They fucking love war. They fucking love it. They live for it as long as it's against the people they hate.
That's not true at all, right? So that's some of the Trump voters will do whatever Trump wants, but a lot of them are actually anti-war. And they're making it seem like almost all the other left-wing shows as if the most extreme MAGA guy represents all 77 million Trump voters. And if you believe that, then you'll hate them, of course.
Well, no, it doesn't represent all 77 million Trump voters, but the horrors that we're seeing, every one of those 77 million people that voted for Donald Trump said they were okay with an insurrectionist. They were okay with a rapist and sexual abuser. They were okay voting for a bestie of Jeffrey Epstein. They were okay voting for someone who openly lied about sex changes in schools. They were okay with somebody who demonizes and says harmful, attacky things about trans people everywhere he goes. They were okay about somebody who made up lies about black people in Springfield, Ohio. They were okay for masked paramilitary guys buying shit off Amazon, dressing up like soldiers and going and kidnapping people into cars with no license plates. They were okay with sending non-criminals who'd never committed a crime to prisons in other countries. They were okay with all of that and all the other shit Trump had done. So it's not like they're the most extreme MAGA people, but they are okay with voting for abusive, anti-American, harmful, attacking the enemy within their own goddamn country. Like serious moral fucking failings. And no, we're not going to be nice to those people. And will we let them back one day? Maybe, if they fucking get their shit right and come back and earn it. But we are not going to go woo them. Fuck them. All right, we're going to mobilize everybody who thinks that shit is not okay. Okay, that's our mission. Because most of the world knows that all that shit is not okay. Way more than 77 million people know it's not okay here in America. We know this. We just got to mobilize them. They were bummed out and they didn't show up to vote. All right, so fucking Cenk, get your head straight. Call Sam, call fucking Emma, and fix your shit, bro. Fix your shit, boss.
Want to call them fascists and racists and Nazis and all those things, but that's maniacal. No, as you get closer to the middle.
Wait. Hold on. We do have to fucking do something here. He said calling them names is maniacal.
Every single one of them lies to you on purpose and says, no, AIPAC doesn't have any influence. AIPAC, how do you say it? Anti-Semite. No, you guys are anti-Palestinian, anti-Muslim, racist, and bigots.
That was Cenk Uygur yesterday talking to people in America, part of the voting bloc. You guys are racist and bigots, he said. But this is Cenk Uygur today. Oh, what a difference the day makes.
If you believe that, then you'll hate them, of course. You'll want to call them fascists and racists and Nazis and all those things. But that's maniacal.
Oh, yeah.
No, as you get closer to the middle, there's a lot of former Obama voters, former Bernie voters, anti-war voters, anti-establishment voters, and almost none of the other left-wing shows are acknowledging that. They're out in la-la land. And honestly, yes, most of the other left-wing shows are totally lying to their audience.
No, I acknowledge that they're there. I just don't feel the need to go win them back, because I think we should mobilize everybody who would not make those choices. There were a whole bunch of people who just stayed home. And they didn't vote for that degenerate, fucking criminal, rapist piece of shit. So I want to find every person in America who's willing to vote against him before I woo one goddamn person who voted for him. Because the people who actually made that shitty moral choice to let whatever anger and rage and self-destructive tendencies they're nursing make them vote for him to plunge us into this nightmare. I want them to just suffer the consequences of their vote. And then after they get their fucking ass kicked and they come and ask for help, then maybe we'll fucking talk about it then. But we're not gonna fucking chase them down. It's real fucking simple, bro. It is. He doesn't get it.
And they're saying, no, there's no split. They all will do whatever Trump wants. They're all the same voter. They're all hardcore MAGA and they're all fascist. And by the way, as Kyle pointed at me and said, yes or no, is MAGA fascist? Well, what an asinine question. What do you mean by MAGA? What do you mean? And do you mean Trump voters? Because no, not all Trump voters.
What do you mean by MAGA? Yeah, all right, dude, they're okay with fascism. And they voted for somebody who's going to be fascist. So therefore, they are fascist, right? You fucking dumbass.
They're fascist. But if you say that on another left-wing show, they'll lose their minds. They'll say, no, you have to call them fascists. I'm the purist, I'm the most left.
That's fine.
Give me clicks.
I'm not interested in getting into the business of other shows and how they conduct business. You do you, boo, right?
You do you, boo. Look at Anna. She's like, you do you, boo. Ooh, look at her.
An interesting dynamic at play when Breaking Points, for instance, which I love. I listen to and watch Breaking Points almost on a daily basis at this point. Krystal knows better than anyone. Sagar and Jetty is very critical of going to war in Iran. Very critical. He's not a left winger.
How could you possibly say there isn't a split? How could you possibly say that? And what they'll do, I swear to God, and I know it, they'll move the goalposts. So look, you can look at it. We put the interview up on tyt.com/press. And as you watch it, I just want you to notice what happens, right? I say I don't agree with Trump, and I say, but I think we can get some of the Trump voters. Honestly, they're not listening at all. Then they just go back to, so here's what's wrong with Trump, and I'm like, yeah, I agree. That's what's wrong with Trump. So let's talk about how to get the voters in the middle. And they're like, okay, now.
Well, here's the deal. I think that sounds like a great mission for you, Cenky. You go ahead and go get a bunch of voters in the middle and get them all lined up for the candidates. All right, yeah, you can do that. We're not going to help you. We still think you're full of shit. But here's where the rubber's going to meet the road, Cenky. You know what it is, Cenk? Is something might happen in 2028. A guy named Gavin Newsom might end up winning the presidential primary for the Democrats. And he might be the only viable option to beat the Republicans. And then I can guarantee that you and Anna are not going to take your newfound MAGA voters and get them rallied behind Gavin Newsom. Now, again, I don't want Gavin. I'm not saying, I'm stumping for him at all. I'm going to fight the man. But if he wins, I'm going to push him across the line. right? He is not ideal, but he's better than any fucking Republican by 1,000 fucking burning hot suns, okay? Dude, I would exhume Joe Biden's corpse and weekend at Bernie's that motherfucker before I would put anyone from the Republican Party in office again. Easy. I'm serious. I mean, I know Biden's not dead yet, but he may be by 2028. Which is why I said that. Again, I'm tasteless and I apologize. It's just how I roll. But this idea though, the thing about it is everything Cenk does is transactional. Okay? We know it's transactional. We know when the elections come around, he is going to fucking try to sink most of the Democratic candidates. We know this. It's what he did in 2024. Did he support Kamala Harris? No, he didn't. Did Anna support Kamala Harris? No, she didn't. Did they support fucking dude? They were supporting the billionaire land developer Rick Caruso, for Christ's sake. Like, are you shitting me? Their judgment couldn't be worse, right? They couldn't have worse fucking political takes, dude. So this idea that they're whatever mission, okay, Jenky, go get a bunch of MAGA, get them lined up. And then if Gavin Newsom wins the primary, we're going to all watch you get him to vote for him. All right? You, the fucking MAGA whisperer. Prove it. You do that and you support him through the whole candidacy or whoever the candidate is that you don't like, because we know it's going to be somebody you don't like, right? But you're going to support them and bring your MAGA voters. Once you do that, then I'll get behind you the next time. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.